The hero's journey exists as a story because it's the way we can share something that doesn't hinge on concepts or facts or even necessarily shared experience. Yet, it touches on something so primary to who and what we are, to who and what experience is. The hero's journey is the oldest story we tell. It's where the circle starts again. So as we take these heroes' journeys in life, stepping into the unknown as we're called to move with intention from intuition, we change and grow. And we see that story in the present as it's unfolding. It's a deep intertwining of the story and the present and the storyteller, bringing it all into this moment, bringing it all into what it is that connects us, what it is that we all share that's primary to the story, prior to the story, because that's what the stories all point to, that deep compassion, that we're in this together compassion that everything arises from and returns to. So I ask myself, at the times where my story gets lost in the past or in the future, and trying to make certainty out of uncertainty, what is this? Right here, right now. And sometimes I find something scary, maybe something from my shadow or something I didn't notice that's pushing or pulling somewhere in my emotional or mental space. Sometimes I don't. There's just no good reason. But there's an attempt to tune out of the present and create this inner world of a story and a storyteller and judgment and specialness and shame and pleasure and pain and good and evil, and it's seductive. And it's pulling me away from this. But it isn't anything. It's not easy to see through it at first. It doesn't feel like an illusion. It feels like reality. It feels true because of the feeling behind the story. But what happens when we change the story to being about the feeling instead of about the ideas, concepts, judgments, hopes, fears that the mind layers on top of those feelings? What happens if the story just becomes, I am sad? When we start with I am sad instead of to distance ourselves from I am sad or I am scared or whatever that feeling is. But what if we go to those sensations? So we take the sensations in the body, the senses around us, the eyes, the ears, the nose, the mouth, touch, the thoughts. And we allow them in the present to simply be a part of a story that is always unfolding, knowing that we don't have any way of determining certainty or of really making it go anyway. Yes, we do have some free will. We do have choices. But we've got to surrender the outcomes. We can do what we can do. That's all. So this storyteller in this story can seem like the villain sometimes. That storyteller is at the root of all my suffering. I'm lost in the story of the past. If I could just get rid of it, then I'd finally wake up and I wouldn't be suffering so much. Or it can seem like the hero. Oh, if I could just tell a story of the present. If I could just relax into this moment. But what happens if we let go of the idea of the storyteller altogether and simply get curious about the story and see what happens without an idea of a storyteller, without trying to tell a story or to be anything? What naturally unfolds on its own? What story of the present gets expressed in this space of surrender and acceptance? That's what the story and the storyteller offer us every time it arises. That's what certainty offers us every time we strive for it. That's what seeking offers us every time we find ourselves wanting something and trying to move toward or make something happen. It gives us an opportunity to be present, to be with our story, our senses, our sense of self, if that's there, sense of storyteller, just whatever's here.